Can a few minutes of writing a day impact your health, help you achieve success, and calm your mind? Is it really enough to write down a few sentences to sleep better, stress less, and act more consciously? In this episode, we explore why keeping a journal is not just a trendy ritual, but a scientifically proven way to a better life. And to bring my point home, I will share my personal experience journaling for the most of this last decade. And I'll talk about this with my favorite person in Nozbe, Magda.
Hello, everyone. Welcome. It's 75th episode of our podcast. We are really, really persistent
Yes, we are.
with sharing our knowledge with you. And indeed, as Michael said, today we are going to share our experience and some tricks and tips about journaling, which apparently isn't just, writing a diary or something.
Dear diary.
Yeah. Um, I think we should start with trying to prove that it's really good for you. It's not just, as you said, trendy ritual, trendy something, a fashion, but it really works. And there are like scientific research and proofs for that.
Yes.
First point, self-reflection. That's true. That journaling allows you to reflect on your thoughts, and it's very, very often that I think that actually I don't really know what I think until I write it down. Then it all becomes more clear and more concrete. And yeah.
Yeah, to me, I like this phrase of writing is thinking.
Mhm.
Because when I write something down, I start to process my thoughts. I start to read what I write, and then I realize if any of this makes sense or not, or where I'm lacking some, reflections or research or whatever. So to me, writing things down helps me create my thoughts.
Yeah, and gain insight. Yeah, because when you
Mhm.
write something, it 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 becomes more real and more approachable for reflection, for analyzing it.
Yeah, completely. That's why
Point.
this that's no, that's why the self-reflection is so important, and especially when you are, running, when you have so many things to do, the moment to self-reflect is so important.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I have problems with thinking. Yeah, I really often I think what I think. I mean, I don't know what I think of, and the moment when I sit down and write something, it really gives me this safe space, which is needed for number two, which has something to do with emotions. Writing a diary or journaling or just writing things down, it's also a way to express your emotions, to to vent your emotions.
Yeah, and as a person who likes to keep emotions inside, and literally when you do that, when you keep your emotions inside, they eat you alive. I mean, your body really reacts bad to that. That's why for me, journaling, writing things, out, is also a way to express these emotions. And if you're not the person who wants to just talk to people, but you still need to get these things out, writing in journal is really helpful to get these emotions out, because the moment you write them down, they are out of your system. They are still, kind of still in the back of your head, but not as much and not as strong as they used to be.
Hmm. Yeah, it's like a safe outlet, and you can do it just being with your own in a safe place, in a safe space. Nobody's judging you. Nobody will react to your emotions because paper will take anything.
Completely.
So yeah, it's your private own space for dealing with your emotion, for processing them. Because when the emotion gets written down, it becomes more, rational. So you can analyze it and think of where does it come from and how. why it's doing it to you, what it's doing to you. Number three, stress relief. Uh, it's it's connected to what we have said about emotions. Writing can be kind of therapeutic, and writing things down helps reduce stress, anxiety, and yeah, it's just the way to express things.
Yeah, it is very therapeutic. I mean, it really helps, as I said, relieve stress, and and you don't let it accumulate so much, because if you do regular, consistent journaling, you regularly, consistently get rid of the stress. So this way, like, it doesn't pile up.
Hmm. Yeah. The next point is more rational and more intellectual because journaling also helps with setting your goals, with planning things, because it can be just used to define and track what you're up to, what you want, which direction you want to follow. Because as we said, when you write something down, it becomes more real.
Yeah, and uh, very often you just don't know what you want until you write it down, and then you're like, ah, actually, I want that. So, like, it's really, like, again, by writing, you become, like, it's clearer to you what you want, and when it's clear to you what you want, then you can set the goals properly.
Yeah, and also when you write a goal, it's kind of the first step. Once it's written down, it's maybe awkward to, to go back and to forget about it or to just give up.
Or if you're as optimistic as I am, and you write things down and you write all your goals down, then you realize that, yeah, even even if the whole universe acts in my favor today, there is no way in the world I'm gonna complete all these things in one day. Like, again, writing these things down helps you, become more mindful about this, and more also reasonable with your goal setting, and uh, achievement achievements and your aspirations.
And ambitions, yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm. Next thing I think that journaling is good for is creativity because many people just use their journals to brainstorm things, to write, like to do creative writing or exploring some creative ideas. Just writing and scribbling can make you more creative.
Yeah, totally. Again, um, writing is thinking, so writing is also a very creative process. um, just yesterday I was celebrating my birthday, and I was writing a birthday post, and I wasn't sure what I'm going to write about. I wanted to reflect a little bit on my birthday, but I wasn't, really sure. And this thought of appreciation came to mind, and from there I started, uh, we'll talk about appreciation a bit more today, but at that moment I was like kind of appreciating this moment of, celebrating birthday, having people wish me happy birthday, call me, write me nice messages. And then I realized, from there it snowballed into the blog post, which was much deeper than just a general appreciation. So
Mm,
again, writing is a creative process, and that's why it helps.
true. Another nice point about journaling is memory keeping. It's like your diary. It's the box for your memories, for your thoughts, for your experiences. It helps you capture the moments and your what you've been through. It can serve as kind of a record of your life's journey.
Yeah, completely. I mean, I when I do my quarterly review, quarterly offsite, which we talked about this on this podcast before and in the past, um, I review my journal from my last 3 months. Then I read it, and first of all, I appreciate what happened in the last 3 months, because very often we underestimate what can happen in 3 months, but very often, like, you're kind of surprised, like, how many things happened. And then second thing is, it's funny to relive these moments, and especially when you're writing about something that you want to do, or something you're aspiring to do, and you're reading it from the point of view of knowing what happened and how it went down, it's also a very cool thing.
Mm-hmm. True. Yeah, it's a magical moment when you find your diary from the past, or
Hmm.
when you're like doing some organizing your stuff on the computer, you find a text file where you noted some thoughts or some, like expressive writing that I
Hmm.
do from time to time. It's so emotional to revisit it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, Next point, problem solving. Um, as we already said, when you write about challenges, when you write about problems, you just try helping yourself to clarify it and lead to solutions by encouraging some deeper analysis. Recently, I spoke to one of our clients, Nozbe users, a very like old Nozbe user. They together with his team, mm, he's been using Nozbe for several years now. And I was wondering why would he schedule a call with me, like the consult, which is usually for the freshers. And I was stressed because he's really the person that I should admire. He's an entrepreneur with a big team, engineer, designer. Wow. And then when we started talking, he said just, I scheduled the call because I have several problems with my team communication, with our like streamlining our work. And he noticed that his team started to a little bit ignore Nozbe because they used to that so much that they started to skip certain procedures related to Nozbe, and they got back to just disturbing each other or calling each other. um, so he just wanted to tell me about it, because he knows from his long time experience that when he talks about problems with someone, then this it's already 60% of on the way to finding the solution. So
Hmm.
he treated me I don't know, kind of the wall to hit the ball and to share the problem. And indeed, I didn't really have to do a lot. I maybe just gave him several suggestions, or we analyzed the problem together. But he said, okay, yeah, yeah, now it's totally clear. I know what to do. And I was like, okay, I didn't do anything, but it was nice to talk, and nice talking to you. So it's the same with writing. When you have a problem and you write it down, it's very often like 50% of the victory.
So I have a suggestion here. So on the website nosby.com/demo, where people can schedule demo with you, Magda, I think we should add a point. I need productivity therapy. And then,
Yeah, or someone to listen.
yes, I need a productivity therapy listener. Exactly. So you see your palette of services on the simple demo call is expanding.
Yeah. And just to finish this segment with arguments, the last one is mindfulness and focus. And true, journaling supports mindfulness. It's gives you this moment to sit down, have the time for yourself, focus, and write about what you think, about what you feel.
Uh, yeah, it's so important and so needed, especially in this day and age where we run so fast, where we scroll so fast, where we hardly ever stop. When you can be a bit more mindful, answer some questions, write some things down, and just kind of regain control of your life. And that's why, uh, to me, like I have a business coach. When I was talking to her, and she asked me, what is the recipe for you to have a great day? And I was like, yeah, I think on the days where I start with my journal, I'm good. But if I skip the journal because I'm busy, 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 the day gets out of hand.
Yeah.
I'm
So it's true.
so it's true. Yeah.
It wasn't just a clickbait title.
No,
that
no,
we
no.
gave to this podcast.
No, no, it is true. It is true that the days where I journal, where I stop and I'm mindful, there these are better days for me.
You see. And following up on that, when we were preparing for this episode, we were thinking that maybe it will be too, we will just talk about it without any proofs in science. But
Yeah,
actually,
just a very good, word from Michael saying, if Michael does it, it must be good.
if you want, you can think so. But if you need more, there is actually scientific research that say, and like specific studies that confirm that it works. For example, this expressive writing, so writing down and expressing yourself on paper, lowers blood pressure, improves liver function, even strengthens the immune system, and reduces symptoms of stress and depression. And it's all like it's true.
Researched. Yeah.
Yeah, research.
And this is
Um,
I mean, this is mind blowing. You think about it, I'm writing, I'm using my mind, and the blood pressure of my entire body goes down.
yeah, it's all about stress, right?
Mhm.
When you, as you said, when you keep all your emotions and everything inside, it explodes from the inside. And when you just let it go, it reduces the stress and the tension, so you have the better emotional processing. And yeah, there is this activation of the um, parasympathetic nervous system, which leads to relaxation. And yeah, this is the response of for that. So if you don't believe us, just believe the researchers from Cambridge University or some other good um, research centers.
Yeah, I mean, just strengthening immune system and improving organ function. These are proven, benefits of journaling. So
Although
just
it sounds incredible.
it sounds incredible. Like, how about some pills? Oh, how about just writing a journal? you know, like it's mind-boggling that it's true. But I can attest that, as I mentioned today already, that regular journaling helps a lot. And because I'm a productivity nut, I've been a productivity freak for the last 18 years or more, designing Nozbe and writing about productivity and exploring productivity. Um, I also approached journaling from a productivity point of view. So I wanted to make sure that I can create a consistent ritual and consistent um, way of doing it, so that I don't get discouraged, so that I don't get, don't fall off the bandwagon so much. And I've been consistently journaling more or less from 2016, so almost a decade now. And in the first years, it wasn't like daily or like almost daily, well, depending on the day. But now it's been daily thing for me. And initially, maybe the motivation was also because I wanted to be like my gurus. So I wanted to be like Michael Hyatt. I wanted to be like Greg McKeown, or I wanted to be like Cal Newport. I want to be like all these guys who are, or Tim Ferriss. I wanted to be like these guys who are my gurus, and I want to be like them when I grow up. Uh, but but now it's been part of my life, and I can really honestly say it's been really life changing and really helpful, especially as I mentioned uh, uh, in my previous posts on my blog, that we've had a really tough year. For example, last year at Nozbe, lots of whirlwind, and to go through that, journaling was a big part that helped me stay focused, stay mindful, stay positive, and go through all that.
That's great. So now tell us the practical side. How do you do this?
All right. So the theory is great. Let's do some practice. And the most important thing about journaling and about doing it consistently, about doing anything consistently, if you want to be, if when we talk about productivity, it's about lowering the barrier of entry. So to make sure that you can, do something as easily as possible. We've been talking about this, I think, in all the episodes of this podcast. Like whenever we talk about anything, we start at the first question: how to lower the barrier of entry so that it's easier, so that it's effortless to do it.
So that you don't have any, mm, ways to run out of this
Exactly.
and
So you don't,
excuses.
exactly. So we don't have any excuses, because we are very intelligent people and we can talk ourselves out of everything. So, how to not talk yourself out of journaling? How to take my challenge and start journaling today, and how to really be in sync with our headline and start with the 5 minutes that will change your life. So we'll talk about it right after a sponsor break, where someone will share their experience with Nozbe, because also Nozbe will be a part of this later in the show. But we'll start, with one of our users, and then we'll get to journaling.
When we've been around for about 10 years, our business has, and we've been using Nozbe for about 8 of those years. And as we grew, we kind of got to the point where I just couldn't remember everything anymore. I'm pretty organized. I would just kind of keep everything in my head and with Post-it notes and things like that. And it just got to be too much. And so I started looking around for some sort of project management software that could help me set up really a trusted system. But really, I just wanted a system where I could know that I had everything in there. I wasn't going to forget anything. I wasn't going to drop any balls for our clients or miss deadlines.
All right. So I have a solution for you to journal every day. And I have a challenge for you to start doing that today after you have listened to this episode of this podcast. So you can write journal on piece of paper, on a notebook, like, with a ball pen. And some people do that. But then again, if the journal is not in the same room and you feel like journaling, then getting the journal and whatever, it doesn't lower the barrier of entry. To me, I have my iPhone with me at all times, and I have my iPad with me most of the time when I work. So for me, I have these devices. So this way, I can journal anytime. And also, additionally, as a bonus, I like this idea that in the morning, instead of taking my phone to browse social media, I take my phone to journal. So I do something creative instead of media consumption, and instead of losing 15 minutes on dumb scrolling. So I created an iOS shortcut. Shortcut is kind of shortcuts is a way for on the iPhone and iPad and Mac to create like mini programs, like mini small programs without programming. And I've been perfecting this. I've been using many shortcuts in my automation, and I love it because I cannot program anymore at Nozbe because we have much better developers than me. So I did the first version of Nozbe and enough.
You were
Now
fired.
I was fired from this job and nobody lets me code anymore. So but I still like building things. That's why I do them with shortcuts. So the idea is this: anyone can use my shortcut. We will be sharing the link to the shortcut and to my blog post that explains the shortcut here below.
Anyone providing their own an Apple device. So
Exactly.
iPhone, iPad, or a Mac.
Yes. So Android users, sorry, I don't know how it works on Android. I don't use an Android. That's why I built it for myself. I'm only sharing what works for me. But I'm going to share the principles, like how it's done. So if you know how to do it on Android or or you can even replicate it, using pen and paper or any other template or a task not in Nozbe or your favorite other
Exactly.
system. I'm going to share how it works, because you can copy that in any way or directly use my shortcut. So over the last 10 years, I've been perfecting this system. I've been asking myself what kind of questions to ask, what kind of prompts to ask, how to make myself journal more consistently. Because very often, if you want to journal, you're like, what am I going to write about? Like, what am I going to journal? Like, dear diary, today was a very good day, whatever. So I decided on prompts, on questions. And I have 3 questions which are fundamental in the evening. The evening journal is my main journal. It's my main thing. So in the evening, I launch my shortcut, and it first creates like a collage of photos from today. It chooses 12 random photos from today and puts them together. Of course, some days I don't have any photos or just few, but if I'm traveling, I have more. And now, because I'm taking selfies basically anytime I eat with somebody, there are many selfies. So anyway, it creates a collage of photos for me, and then I can see what happened today. So I can save this and continue with journaling. And then it asks me um, uh, 3 questions. So 3 questions. And again, all these questions are optional. I don't have to answer all of them. Again, lower barrier of entry. I can just write and answer one question and just don't answer any other questions, and I'm done. So to skip a question, I just hit OK, and it skips the answer. Or I can write the answer or dictate the answer, as you like to do it on the iPhone. So first question, what was awesome today? Simple question. If there was anything awesome, if there was anything I find awesome, anything cool, anything that worked well today, then I can write about that. Then the second question, which kind of sports did I do today? And because I do sports almost every day, to me it's important. I play tennis today. I play tennis. I run. I bike. I swim. I do things with my daughters. So it's like, I do lots of sports.
Yeah, but if you don't do sports, I think you can treat it as well as the
Hobby, activity.
of what have you done apart from working, like
Exactly.
extra activities.
Yeah, totally. So I actually might, when I think about it, I might actually rephrase the question to make even my shortcut more universal, like to write what kind of sport or hobby I know did you do today. So I think I can do that. Yeah, it's a good question. It's a good suggestion. Thanks. So that's what I do. And then the third question is there anything I could have done better, could have improved today? So because Magda knows me, that whenever something goes wrong, instead of blaming her or myself or anyone around us, I'm searching for for improvement. Like what could we failed, we didn't do something, we didn't deliver something. What can we improve? What can we do better? Like what can we make happen so that it doesn't happen again? So and very often in the evening, I have like all these reflections. I didn't know I had them, and I start writing, and I'm like, yeah, we should have done that, and not we have forgotten about like. So I start writing that down. So it's really good. Again, I take it out of my system and write it down, so I might ponder on it later. So after these 3 questions, there's always a fourth bonus open-ended question. Anything else?
Yeah, that could be the place for the emotions, right? Because
Exactly.
for
the emotions, for any other reflections, any other thing that happened or that you want to make sure note down. So and the cool thing is, the idea is this: after these 3 pretty guided questions, you are on a roll. So it's easier to find the fourth thing that thing to write about after that. You've warmed up, basically. Yeah. So after that, my shortcut also shows you your location and your time and your weather. So you can even comment on that, like, oh, I'm here, it's beautiful weather, or this weather. So I mean, if you are, if you're
in Poland,
in May in 2025, the weather is not good. So you just write that the weather sucks. What kind of May is this? Like, where is the spring? So you can, you have a place to vent in that sense. And then after that, my calendar, it goes through my calendar on my iPhone, and it shows me all the events coming up tomorrow. And it's cool. Like when Magda was configuring the shortcut yesterday, she was surprised. Like it knows all my calendar details. How does it know that? And it's just because it goes through your calendar and then it shows the details. Again, my shortcut is completely private. Like it takes your data from your phone and it saves them on your phone. So like there is nothing that goes to the cloud. It saves on the iCloud drive, but it's your private iCloud drive encrypted. So I cannot read your diary entries, and I really don't care about them.
Yeah, you are just offering the template, and
And
nothing
anyway,
else.
Shortcut is completely open source. Like you can, when you install the shortcut, you can open it and see how it works. So to make sure that it's completely transparent and you can see how it works. Anyway, that's why. Again, it pulls your calendar, and then what I do there, it shows like one event per line. And very often I just remove some of the events which are not, for example, because it pulls my Nozbe calendar. So for example, events that are not, concerning me, like for example, when you have your demo calls, I just remove them. Maybe I add some additional event I forgot to add to calendar, I add it there, or something like that. But this way I know what's going on tomorrow. It serves me more as a reminder. Hey, this is what's going on tomorrow. Um, Especially when I have scheduled calls with customers, I can see, oh, I have a scheduled call. I forgot about that, because very often, like the customers, they schedule calls with me, like a month ago, and now I see that the call is coming. Of course, I'm going to have it also as a task in Nozbe.
Yeah, I was
So,
just about to complain. What do you think
yeah,
you are saying?
yeah, but that's the thing. I'm right now reviewing my journal, so I'm not going through Nozbe tasks right now.
Yet. Hmm.
Not yet. I'm gonna do it, in the morning. This is my shutdown journal, for the evening. So I
Hmm.
don't want to be going through all my tasks now. I want to just see what's going on tomorrow and what happened today. And after the calendar, it asks me for 3 most important tasks for tomorrow. So what I want to accomplish tomorrow. And this is sometimes tricky, but it's really cool to just write these down. And then, I want to do this. For example, one of the most important tasks for today for me is this: record the podcast successfully. And I write these down. This way, again, I prepare myself for tomorrow. I brace myself for impact of tomorrow. And I can sleep on it. I can think about these things when I'm sleeping. What I am going to do tomorrow. And after that, it's done. The evening journal is done, and I'm ready for tomorrow. And my journal, shortcut changes the date for tomorrow already. And then when tomorrow comes, and I open the shortcut. So when you get the shortcut, you can save it on your home screen as an app. You can basically treat it as an app. Or if you have the iPhone 15 Pro or newer phone, you have the action button. So you can configure it, for example, to launch on the action button, which is very, very useful. And, when in the morning, when I hit the journal, there is additional morning journal option, completely optional, but also very useful. It's a gratitude morning journal. It helps you stay positive. It helps you start your day in a positive way. And again, it's 3 questions. So there is like morning gratitude, and when you click on it, it asks you 3 questions. And again, time and time again, it's been proven by research, by like science, that gratitude practice is very useful. Again, reduces stress. It helps you stay focused. It helps you appreciate things, and that's why you can build off of that. So it's really, really useful. But the problem with gratitude is that it can such a practice can very quickly be like boring. Like, I'm thankful for my wife and my children and my dog and my cat and and my work and my company, blah, blah, and my dollars. Like,
I'm grateful that I exist.
I'm grateful I exist, that I'm not still dead yet, like, it can be kind of, boring and repetitive. So these questions are gratitude questions that I have designed. And again, I took them from many places and compiled them as my list. But I cannot get credit for it. I was just looking at many gratitude exercises on the internet. So these questions are designed to challenge you. So the first question is, what are you thankful for that happened yesterday? So you have to really then think about yesterday and think, is there anything, that happened that I'm thankful for?
And then it's not this solemn thing like health, love,
Yeah.
and stuff, but you're forced to look for the tiny experiences, the small things that
The
builds
experience of
in your
yesterday,
life.
is there anything there, like I enjoyed my tennis game with my friend, or we had a great barbecue with neighbors or whatever. Like like you can appreciate something that happened
Yeah.
yesterday, right?
And that you didn't appreciate because maybe you didn't think
You took
of
it for
it
or you
as
took it for
something
granted,
special.
like
Yeah.
if of course I'm gonna have a great time with my friends, of course, like everybody has that, right?
Mhm.
So it's like it's it forces you to appreciate these things that you, as you mentioned, that you didn't appreciate on or not as much as you would have.
Mhm.
Second question, thankful for an opportunity. So then you start to think, is there any new opportunity I'm thankful for? Um, and sometimes I skip this answer because sometimes I don't see any opportunity right now, and it's okay. Sometimes I don't know, I don't see an opportunity, and I'm like, okay, skip this. But sometimes I do, and I'm like, this is an opportunity. This can
Yeah,
be
it's
something.
cool because it kind of forces you or motivates you to look for those opportunities. Sometimes you
Yes,
are just, being lazy and just going with the flow. But when someone asks you, you try to be vigilant and maybe search for
yeah,
them.
and sometimes like somebody makes a comment, and you have ignored this comment, but then you're like, this might be an opportunity. Actually,
Mhm.
what they were saying here is like, this is something we can try, or this is
And
something,
can you give me an example? Because the opportunity, a chance for me, it sounds kind of, as big. But I
Mhm.
understand that these are also the small things. Can you give any example
I mean,
from your last week?
it, it depends. But for example, we have a Nozbe expert program, and I was talking to one of our experts, Asha, uh, and she is like really pushing our expert program to a like whole new level because she's using Nozbe for her training, and she teaches people productivity using our app and blah blah blah. So it's really cool. And this
Mhm.
opportunity is amazing that we work with her, and we get to work together. But we had a one-on-one conversation about where we can bring the program or what we can do, and she made a comment about like that she can do this, and then we can have like this kind of thing that we can send them gifts from Nozbe. And I'm like, that's a new opportunity to create like a competition. And like I was thinking about something that that just a simple comment she made that I just ignored first, and I was like, "Yeah, this can be something. I have to write
Mhm.
this down." And then after that I created the task, and I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna think about that because this might be an opportunity also for us, not for her only." You know?
Mhm. Okay, so it can be something work related, but also development related or
Oh,
anything.
completely.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It can be, it's like, yeah, it's like the first day when I started running with my daughter.
Mhm.
That was my journal entry for next day, for new opportunity that I can run right now with my daughter every Tuesday. And I was
Mhm.
like, like what a gift, what an opportunity, what a thing, we get to do sports together. And in the meantime, she just doesn't stop to talk. So I get to listen to my daughter about what she's going through, and she's 12. So it's like she's already getting becoming a teenager. So she's talking to me about all these things that are happening at school, and then
Mhm.
the emotions and everything, while running with her dad. So it's like again, what an opportunity. So this can be a thing.
Mhm. Mhm.
And then third question, thankful for something small. And this is really like the small thing. And this I love this question because sometimes it's like a cable I got on Amazon that helps me, connect some device or whatever. My family laughs at me when I have a new cable for my home office, and but to me, like maybe this cable saves me like this thing that I don't need to connect some things, and it's useful, or it's well designed or whatever, like a small thing, right?
Yeah, because very often the small things make big differences, yeah, and we don't notice them. We don't pay attention, and there are those tiny moments, tiny experiences that are really nice, and yeah, they are
Life
good.
is consists of small things happening all
Mm.
the time. It's like sometimes these small things make the breakthrough later down the line.
Mm.
um I remember like when I got the new gadgets for my home office, I really appreciate it a lot. And now, yesterday, I got a special gift from my wife, a Lego bamboo plant, because my wife knows that if she gives me a bamboo plant, it would die. So, but she knows I like Legos, so I have a Lego bamboo plant, and it's perfect. And it's a small thing, but it's nice. And I'm going to build it today, after I'm done working. So it's gonna be my small thing. So thankful for what happened yesterday, for an opportunity, and for something small. And after that, of course, there is an open-ended question. Anything else? And after that, there is one bonus because it's morning. I ask the focusing question from the book One Thing. The book One Thing by I don't remember the author name now. I don't have it
Oh, we
here.
will link to it.
Well,
It's so popular,
yeah,
and we talk
yeah,
about it so often.
and Jay Paparson.
Yeah.
So the one thing, and the question is, it's a focusing question, and I love this question. What do you want today, such that doing that makes everything else easier or unnecessary?
Mhm.
So what is this one thing you should do today that helps you move things forward, basically? And sometimes I don't have answer to that question. It's hard to find that one thing, but sometimes it's also a small thing I can do today to help move things forward. So I try always to answer that focusing question, and then go back to that question during the day. So this is my morning journal, and this way my journal is complete. So I do morning gratitude, and then later in the evening I do the summary and preparing for next day.
Yeah, and it all works automatically. You just tap on the icon, and the phone or like your computer asks you these questions. You don't have to think about it. You just answer. It's to make it easy for you.
Completely.
Cool. That's really a practical thing. I hope you guys will use it. And if you don't own an Apple device, you can just use those questions and those things to, even in a note application or in the text file, just to have those steps to follow and to make it easier to write a diary, write a journal.
Yeah.
I also have a small like a template for writing. I don't write every day because I can't do this. Maybe I'm not ready yet. Although here I sound very smart, but I don't know. I still think there are more important things, which is not true because this is very important and helpful. But when I do, I write. I do this expressing writing. So just
Expressive writing.
expressive writing, just to vent. But after that, I feel so relieved. I feel as I was, I don't know, like the catharsis, the feeling after writing things down and after summarizing things, after showing what you are grateful for, it really makes you feel really, really good. So I kind of understand why the day started with your journal is usually a good day. So my template is stolen and a little bit modified from the guy who exists on the internet as Struthless, and he created a way for journaling that is called Vomit. It's not very romantic name, but it's very it's illustrate why you actually journal, to vomit, to get things out of
Get
you.
things out of your system.
And of course, each letter stands for something. So first is V, is for vent. He and myself, we usually start with writing things down just to warm up.
Negative
And
emotions.
as we all know, it's very easy to complain and to write what annoys me, what pisses me off. So that's how I start, just to get going, to motivate myself to express and to write a lot. That's V. Then there's O, obligations. These are usually the stuff that you have to do, that are on your plate, that your responsibilities, your most significant things to get done. Yeah, this is the another stage. Yeah, you just after writing down the annoying things, you focus on your work, on your stuff to do. You can prioritize. Usually at this stage, I go to Nozbe and I just go through my tasks for today or my task for this week. Then VOM. M is the mindset. Here, for me, this is the place where I try to work on my self-confidence and maybe to improve my mood and to find my value somewhere deep. Um, he Struthless, he gives us certain techniques. I will link the video on YouTube where he describes it very, very in detail. So, but to make it quick, the mindset usually is, for example, if you would like to do the X thing, what would you do not to achieve it? And then, for example, silly idea, if you want to lose weight, what would you do not to lose weight? So you would sit in front of the TV with a huge packet of crisps and sweets and ice cream. So it makes you, makes it easier to find the good things. I mean, the things that will actually lead you to your goal and to achieving that. Once you know what you shouldn't be doing, it's tricky, but it really works. Also, this is the place where I write what I'm grateful for. This is also mindset. This is how I feel, how I want to feel, which direction I would like to look. And also, this is related to self-confidence. I'm thinking of what I think of myself, and I'm trying to find something good about myself. And then, of course, then I doubt and I say, no, that's not me. But then I force myself to write 2 or 3 sentences with the because sentences. And then I say, I'm because, and I'm trying to convince myself that maybe I am a little bit something, and it has to be something good. So we have VOM, then we have I. I is for ideation. And here, this is the problem solving the stage for problems and for issues that you want to look at, the ideas, the problems that you want to get solved. The here really good technique that I love is you you take a problem and then you think what the person that you admire, like your authority of yours, what they would do. You imagine who. It can be your, I don't know, your mom, your friend, your guru, and then you think what they would do. And it really helps when looking for a solution. And also, he says that this is the stage where you can just list your things, your ideas, your plans. You do like the mind dump. Also, I use Nozbe for that. And then when you write something, as we said at the beginning, it starts to blossom slowly. And it's like the opening the loop, the thinking loop, the ideation loop. So once you write something down, it starts to get real. And you can continue thinking about it next day or next week, but you already started. You wrote it down. And T, because it's vomit, so T for the end, trajectory. It's related to goals. So this is the place where you are checking if you are in line with your goals, when you can set your goals, what things lead you to these goals. And then you just try to focus on the good things that you want to follow. I recommend this video that I will link in the show notes. But it's very nice and it goes very quickly and it's fun. As I said, I don't do it every day because it's too much for me. But once a week, once for 2 weeks, and it really gives you this sense of venting and writing things down and outletting your emotions, your thoughts, your goals. or the thoughts that you have about yourself. So I recommend.
It's in so my journal shortcut, it has even more features than I mentioned, apart from writing the journal. And again, it saves the journal in a file, in a text file that can be exported to from Markdown to anything. But what it also has it has a feature connected with goals, so you can set your goals for this quarter and this year. Like, you can write your goals. If you do that, then before your each journal entry, morning or evening, you first see your goals. I mean, my shortcut shows you your goals again. So this way, when you see the goals, you kind of reconnect with your goals. Like, you, before your journal, you're like, so I wanted to do this, I wanted to do this, I want to accomplish that. So again, this is what very often is important, is that if you can reconnect with your goals, if you know where you're going, it's going to be easier for you to plan your journey there.
Yeah.
So for example, I do set my goals so that I can see them every time I journal. And also, another optional thing is that I do my daily planning in my journaling shortcut. I have a place where I can, every half an hour, I can write what happened, like if it was deep work, if it was shallow work, or it was meeting, or it was no work at all. So this way I can see where my time went. And it's very, very useful. When you do it throughout the day, then when you do the evening journal, it sums it all up. So you can see, I worked 8 hours, but out of these 8 hours, there were 2 hours of deep work, 6 hours of meetings, and this is how my day went. So I like that, and especially like that when I have not so good days, that I can start planning again, and then get back on the horse, get back in the rhythm. So this is also something that, again, is completely optional. It's there in my shortcut if you want to use it, if you want to try it, but it's something also that helps me stay focused and stay productive.
Yeah, so you see, you created a really nice tool. I hope you will all give it a try and take advantage of what Michael created.
Yeah.
Okay,
And
so
just to also apart from all the benefits we listed of journaling, one of the benefits I see in my team, with you and everyone else on our Nozbe team, is that as we journal more, we also journal more in our tasks. So
yeah, it's like team journaling.
Team journaling, exactly. Because very often, especially in a remote team where we don't see each other, and we cannot, just ask, hey, Magda, what are you working on, or whatever, or how are things going? It's important to, kind of journal, like post comments on your tasks. Hey, so I'm here. I did half of it, but I left everything else for tomorrow, or I did that, but then I created another task for that. So, and then we have a prompt also for developers every Thursday to update their status tasks, and for everyone to update status tasks, because this way, everybody is like, okay, I need to update them, because then nobody has to ask, how is this project going? We talked about status tasks in the past on this show, and instead of going there to the project and trying to figure out how is the project going, you update the status task, and this way what's going on, what's the status of this project.
Yeah, so it's great for both sides, for the person who's writing, because as we know, writing is good, and for the members of their team, because they know what's going on. They are updated, and they see what they were working on, and is there something they could do, or should they ping them to do something quicker?
Completely.
So to wrap it up, because we are talking almost for an hour now, I would suggest just 5 points that you should know to start and maintain your journaling habit. So number 1, choose your format, choose your platform. It can be a paper notebook. It's really nice, romantic. People like it, and it can be, this ambiance of writing down something and scribbling on the paper. But it can be a mobile app. There is the tool that is especially for journaling. It's called Day
One.
Day One. Or it can be Nozbe, as I'm doing it. Nozbe is really good. You can have your task with a bullet checklist, and It can be set as a daily task or weekly task, just to remind you and encourage you to do this. Or it can be the shortcut by Michael that you receive the link to. Then try to be consistent. Just set a regular time, the time of a day when you want to do this, because some people prefer the evening or some people prefer the early morning, just to start your day with that. So check what will work for you. I think you don't have to go like huge at the beginning. Just start with one question or two questions, 3 minutes, 2 minutes, just to start going. And use the questions, the questions, the guiding questions. You can use the Michael's one. You can use the vomit system. You can just, they're typical. What you're grateful for, what happened today, what emotions, how did you feel today, what did you learn today, what 3 interesting experiences you had today.
Yeah, and again, you don't have to answer all these questions. You can just answer some of them, or one of them, whatever. Like it's just I think it's more important to stay consistent than to be thorough. And you don't have to you don't have anyone to answer to. This is your journal. This is for you. This is your private thing. And also you can be unfiltered. When you write a blog post or a post on social media, you have to watch out what you're saying, what you're writing, not to make sure that you don't,
insult anyone.
Or you choose who you want to insult, whatever. But when you journal, it's unfiltered. You just write it for yourself.
It's your safe space. Just be honest with yourself. And
I don't show my journal to anyone. Like nobody reads my journal. Like it's just for me. Like it's again, it's not meant to be read by anyone. That's why it's maybe me at some point, but maybe even not. The purpose is to write, and writing is thinking.
Yeah, and be patient. Be honest. Don't judge yourself for what you are writing in your diary and in your journal, because it's not about it. And try to be regular, but not religious about this regularity.
All right. So I think, I hope we can have convinced you to give it a try, and at least try, not even 5 minutes, just a few minutes a day, and you'll see how you feel. And good luck with that. And if you want to also use your if you want to also practice journaling in your next to your tasks, we have a great structure at Nozbe of projects, tasks, and comments. And then in the comments, you can post really thoughtful comments on your tasks, and very often, journal your way out of your tasks. And if you want to give it a try, we have a special bonus for listeners of this podcast. If you sign up through our special link, you'll get credits for up to 3 months of premium. So make sure to check it out and give it a try. And see you in 2 weeks and hear you in 2 weeks. Thank you for being an amazing listener of the No Office podcast. Every other Wednesday, we meet to talk about productivity and hybrid lifestyle, because we believe that work is not a place to go. It's a thing to do. As a special gift only to No Office podcast listeners, when you sign up for Nozbe using this link, nozbe.com/podcast, you'll get $30 of credits, which you can use to upgrade to Nozbe Premium. Nozbe helps thousands of smart business owners and their teams get their professional and private life organized in a single app in a simple way. And Nozbe is free for up to 3 active projects and 3 people on your team. So start today and claim your free bonus credits, which you will later need to upgrade to unlimited projects. Once again, thank you for being an amazing listener. Thanks for your support and for spreading the word about our No Office podcast and Nozbe. See you and hear you in the next episode, and in the meantime, claim your bonus credits here.